Alright, another day strikes. Let's get this work. We have no time to waste. Let's go. I've decided to title this one Feeling Much Better in reference to the previous video and the video before that. So in the previous video, I mentioned what I spoke about in the video before that, honestly, about my screen usage low. Now, after that, oh my gosh, that realization, having to live with that for the rest of my life, is wow. But that's a part of the journey, isn't it? You achieve, which we call highs, and then we also receive opportunities to grow, just like this one. But most of the time, in the moment, it can feel like, oh my gosh, like why has this happened? Why have I done this? But because that's happened, I'm now so adamant on having half the day off in which I don't go on the screen, so that I can get my mind right. And then because I'd be doing that, that also means that I avoid going through that route of being on the screen for so long. And I feel much better after a couple of days now. I think I've been able to get over it. Let's see, where are we? Alright, okay, I'm ready. So, let's talk about that low one more time. 17 hours, 11 minutes, 10 seconds. Sorry, no, oh my gosh. 11 hours, 10 minutes on the phone due to uploading and also watching YouTube. And other things like creating the content to be able to upload for the day, for the day before. The day before yesterday, I mean, day 85. It was just a lot of time, man. That as well. So it was 11 hours and 10 minutes on the phone, and then 5 hours something. I don't remember, but it was 5 hours something, and I know that the total came up to 17 hours. So it had to have been 5 minutes 50 something, or maybe bang on 5 minutes 50. Man, it's just why how 17 hours? The answer's there. I've recorded the footage, but now because of that, I do have to look on the bright side of things and realize I'm now every single day putting myself in a position where I'm never going back to that place again, and therefore I'd say I've grown from it. But the fact that I've had to go there is just wow. But it's just like, wow. I had to go to that point for me to realize that, for my actions to learn. I had to go to that point for my actions to learn. But if that's what needed to be done, that's what's needed to be done. Or sorry, if that's what's needed to happen, that's what's needed to happen. It's happened, and now my sleep routine, even a few days after, is much improved. And I've learned a few things here and there. But going on to the title of this video, which I've decided to call Feeling Much Better instead of what I've got in the pad. And the answer to that question, the answer to that title is cardio. I can't remember the last time I actually raised my heart rate. I will usually go for walks, but that's basically as far as it goes. So let's talk about the cardio that I did. So I was on the treadmill for about 15 minutes, and I would say I jogged intensely for about 6.5 minutes. I planned to do 5, but I just kept on pushing myself. And then the minutes around the 6.5 minutes of intense jogging, I was just I remember just walking and taking it easy. But I'll tell you what, I did even feel slightly better after doing that jog. And then I also did a new cardio workout. But I'm going to talk about that in a different video, because that is a completely different an entire video within itself. So I'm going to not talk about that for this video and move on to something else, or carry on talking about this. All right, so yeah, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to carry on talking about this for now, just to hammer on the point that in this journey we are going to get to some points that we consider extremely low, and we're going to get to some points in our journey that we consider extremely high. But that's what the journey's about, honestly. And as for people that are looking for growth, I have to say this, and this is mainly for me: hang in there. You gotta make the videos every single day, because that's how I've made this channel, so that I make every single day daily videos without fail. I have to do these, but I don't even think of these videos as something that I have to do. First of all, that's just known, and secondly, it's a mental release. It's what allows me to get my thoughts together. It's what allows me to articulate myself clearly. It's what allows me to work through fears, as I've done, work through issues that I've had. And hence, I'm making the footage for this video fairly short. I remember it being around 6 minutes. I just wanted to do a half-minute plank, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to juggle and make it and switch things up again. The reason why you see me talk in the footage is because I was speaking to a family friend. That's why you see me talking a lot in the footage, and I'm looking right. But yeah, as for growth now, I was actually watching a therapy in a nutshell video, just to remind myself about the fact that it's got to take a while and to not give up. I'm eventually, after video after video after video, I'm eventually going to grow massively. Eventually. I have no idea where I'm going to be in 7 months' time, in 6 months' time. I don't know. But I do know for sure that I would have grown in every aspect by that point in time. I certainly would have grown. The YouTube channel would have grown as well. There's no way with every single day videos that I'm going to stay at bang on 5 subscribers. No way. I'm just producing too much and growing too much in order for that to happen. Pardon me. And although I do appreciate 5 subscribers, and I appreciate all of you who've clicked on the subscribe button, and all of you, including myself actually, I was going to say excluding, but including myself, who are watching my videos. I appreciate all of you, because you are allowing me to build a community within a community, I'd say, because the bigger community is the self-improvement community, but what I'm displaying is self-improvement. So it's kind of like a community within a community. Maybe this will actually overtake the self-improvement community one day. Maybe. I don't know. But I'd say, this is our own thing. This is our own community that we have. Regardless of how small it is, it's still a community. it's still a group of people that have ideas to share amongst each other as and when we like. It's still a community, and that in this community is gonna grow and grow and grow. Right now, I'm telling you, I'm on 5 subscribers, and we're gonna see where I am in 6 months' time, 1 year's time, 2 years' time, and 5 years' time, and so on and so on and so on. And I say, and also 10 years' time as well, and in 20 years as well. You're gonna see it. You're all gonna see it. You're gonna see this point that I'm starting from. I'm 8 days away from being 3 months in. I started this on the 29th of December. So that's 29th of January 1st of March, sorry. There's no 29th of February. 29th of January, 1st of March. And then I'm going to count the 29th of March as the 3rd month, because I'm classing the 1st of March as the 2nd month, because there is no 29th of February this year. I'm telling you, by the end of the year, this channel would have grown significantly, massively, from 5 subscribers. I don't know how much, but it would have grown massively. All I have to do is just hang in there. Even though the returning viewers and new viewers has decreased, it's gone from, I think it was 6 returning viewers to 3 new viewers. It's now gone from 5 returning viewers to 2 new viewers. But I've just got to hang in there, and instead of focusing on things I can't control, I'm going to focus on what I can control, which is creating the content. And in fact, that's reminded me of something that I'm going to do today. So I'm going to take a leaf from Therapy in a Nutshell again, and I'm going to make maybe like an A4 worth of notes on what I can and can't control when it comes to the YouTube community, to make it even when it comes to the growth of this channel and just this channel in general. So I focus on what I can control and what I actually do want to focus on, because focusing on the stats in the now decreasing from what it was before, it's just like, I exaggerated and I said it was plummeting. It's not. Like 1 viewer less, like, come on. But that's exactly what this channel's for. It allows me to articulate my thoughts more clearly, and it allows me to come to my senses. What 1 returning viewer less is not a plummet. One less returning viewer is not a plummet at all. And I must remember what I said to myself the other day. Viewers, they come and go. So there is that to also take into account. Viewers, they come and go. People who comment, they come and go. People responding to my comments, they come and go. It happens, man. It happens. That's just the journey. That's just how it goes. And speaking of, I think I was talking to a family friend about this, talking about Money May again, and we had a conversation about him and the fact that I commented on one of his on an editing slip up once, and the fact that actually no, I don't think I may or may not have told him about the fact that he didn't respond. I may have done, I may not have done, I don't remember. But I think it's only right that I go and talk to him personally via, the only thing I've got is email. Talk to him personally and apologise for that. I think that's only right. Even though I didn't mean it in a destructive criticism way. I didn't mean it in that way. But I think it's only right to go and do that, because he made me aware of the embarrassment side that it could have, or that's the point that he gave, but I didn't even think about it. And I know that my comment came from a place of not wanting to insult him or wanting to embarrass him at all. That's not where it came from. It instead came from me genuinely wanting to help others out and grow that way. That's the place it came from, but I can understand from another person's perspective now that we've spoken about it, that it can, instead of him thinking, oh, okay, no, fair enough, I didn't see that, thanks for letting me know, and I'll try my best not to do that, make that slip up again. It could have instead made him feel embarrassed. And again, I'm not trying to insult him by saying that as well. I'm absolutely I'm not trying to insult him. And if you're watching this, I genuinely do apologize, and I'm not trying to use this I'm not trying to talk about this as a mockery. Maybe even talking about it now is like, but I think it's only right I not only go and speak to him personally, but I also say now that I'm sorry if I didn't come off that way. I'm sorry, and I apologize. I'm now going to move on to talk about something completely different, which is hydration. Hydration is absolutely key, and I brought an entire water bottle's worth of water with me to the car because I knew damn well I'm going to be here for quite a while creating these videos, creating this voiceover, I mean. Oh, it's so refreshing. I think I'm going to speak about hydration for a very, very long time because it's so key and important to me. There's also something that I've just remembered, talking about eating as well and sleep, eating and sleep. But for now, I'm going to talk about hydration. So, hydration are like, for me, it's so key. Hydration, and even now, as I think about it, being adequately warm, not being too hot or being too cold. There was one guy I saw in town, and she, even in the hot weather like it is today, she was wearing a jacket and she looked hot and bothered. I have no idea how she could do that. Oh, I have no idea. I think she was wearing a hijab as well. But how do you manage that? How do you allow yourself to just be so hot and bothered? She wasn't even covering her face with it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely not discriminating. I'm absolutely not against people wearing hijabs at all in the slightest. But damn, man, like, even in the hot weather, that to be fair is a lot of commitment. That is quite some commitment. But anyway, going back, oh my gosh, it is hot in this car, and I'm keeping the windows wound up so that the quality of the voiceover is much higher than what it would be, because you don't hear background noise at least as much as you would if I had the windows open. Hydration, and in this context and on this day as well, being adequately warm. Even though I'm in a t-shirt, it's boiling hot. They are key. Hydration is key, and I want to hammer on about hydration because dehydration affects you if you allow it to in any weather. It doesn't matter what season it is. Sometimes it can get too cold, but regardless, you can always you can always become too dehydrated. You can always be feeling dehydrated because you're not drinking enough. Drinking enough is so key. I know for me that this is a major thing because life is just not as fun as it could be when my throat is feeling heavy, and I also know that affects how I speak to people as well. I could get irritated and I could feel irritated and frustrated a lot quicker than I would be if I was simply hydrated. It makes sense though. I don't know the deep-rooted science behind that, but I do know it's common knowledge that we are predominantly made of water, and you're taking that away. You're basically taking one of the main things that allows you to function if you stay dehydrated. I can't speak for other people, but I don't think I personally try and make myself dehydrated. It's just that in the past I haven't taken, or at least in the recent past, I haven't taken a proactive approach with it by drinking water even if I'm not thirsty, only up to an amount that's healthy and I'm not overdoing it. That right now, even as I'm making this voiceover, I have my water with me because like my throat was feeling heavy even in this clip. But we learn, man, hydration. It's so key. It can affect your life. It can, depending on if you stay hydrated to a healthy amount, that can help boost your life in every aspect because you're fulfilling a basic survival need. And then that allows you to focus on more important things that aren't just for your survival, that you do that just aren't for your survival, like eating, for example. And drinking, as you probably just heard me do. I have about, I don't know if I said, I have about maybe like 700 to 750 litres. Not litres, milliliters of water with me because that's the size of the bottle that I just had. And even throughout this voiceover, I've gone from 750 to 300 in this space of time. And I filled up before doing this as well. I set myself up for the video footage and I then filled up my water bottle. And now I've come back and now like 450 milliliters of it's gone. More than half. It's so key. It's so key. It's so key. It's so key. I'm hammering on about this predominantly for me because I know damn well that I can focus a lot more on drinking water to a healthy amount, and I've allowed dehydration to affect me in my life for a very long time, for as long as I can remember, due to not paying attention to it, except one short period of time last year, around March to June last year. I was counting how much water I was drinking, and I was also listing the foods that I ate. That's why I started off with meal tracking. I was listing the foods that I ate instead of just the calories. And then that changed to MyFitnessPal, inaccurately weighing on MyFitnessPal, and then one of my sisters allowed me to use her scale, which she's still allowing me to do to this day, so thank you for that. And when it's time, I'm going to start tracking my meals again. Right now I'm eating a lot more than I did in the past, which has allowed me to get to this point in my body transformation journey. The reason why is because I'm bulking. I want to put on a lot of muscle, and I think I've actually done that. I've started doing that now. Like the t-shirt, fitting my whole hand into my left sleeve in a sleeve that's large for my t-shirt. It's a large size. It's an L size t-shirt, and that's getting tighter on me. Or sorry, I'm getting tighter for it. I'm getting tighter for the sleeve. Like it's gotten harder to fit my entire hand in. I can for both sleeves, but it's much more difficult than it once was. And I grabbed hold of the bottom of the sleeve and pinned it to my arm to imagine and visualize how I'd feel when my arms completely fill out the sleeve. And I do like it. I do like the tight feeling that it has because it fits properly instead of it feeling like there's no part to the bottom of it. I can feel the t-shirt very slightly at the top and at the sides, but not at all at the bottom because there's nothing there. And that feeling slowly but surely is going to go away as I carry on eating more, get a healthy amount of sleep, and I carry on training more and doing different programs like that cardio workout I did. which I'm not going to speak about in this video because it's an entirely different video that I want to talk about, because there's so much to it that happened in this session and that I've learned, which I really do want to talk about, but I'm just not going to, not in this one. So yeah, I've spoke about hydration. It's so key, absolutely so key, because that could partly determine how your life goes and how you feel on a daily basis. It's so important, and I just didn't take note of that. I take this so seriously that I've actually just had a thought that I can track how much water I drink a day and drink an amount that's right for me. A gallon will do, because I know that because I've done it in the past, and that's what's worked for me. So I'm going to carry on doing that. Why change what works, right? I know it works, so yeah. And then if I want to, I could carry on experimenting with different amounts. But I could carry on experimenting with different amounts to know what my limits are, both on the too little water side, on the dehydration side, and on the overhydration side, if that's what you want to call it. I'm actually going to make a note on my phone of that right now. That's an amazing solution, and staying hydrated is absolutely key for me and something that I want to work on. So I'm going to do that now. All right, so now let's talk about eating. So yesterday, because it's a special occasion, I had a lot of food to eat, a lot of it. I had a lot of jollof rice with some chicken wings and some chicken that was cooked in the rice. I had a lot of it, a lot. And I had to basically, potentially, overall, what could feed 3 to 4 people. And I felt pain. I felt pain doing this. I didn't feel pain after the first time, but I did the second time. Let me tell you why I ate the second time anyway, even though I wasn't feeling hungry. My sleep got disturbed. So I was eating I was eating the jollof for a special occasion, and my sleep got disturbed because of it. And my parents were telling me, wake up, we've got to go to this special occasion. So I did wake up, my sleep got disturbed. I didn't like that at all. And from it, I've learned something. How, the quality of your sleep could partially determine the quality of your entire life. If you're getting poor sleep quality because it's getting disturbed, there's too much background noise and everything like that, you're just not going to be able to live the life you truly want to live. You're not going to be able to, it's going to be much more difficult, at least, to be able to feel at peace when your sleep gets disturbed. And I know for sure I don't want that to ever happen again, in which my sleep gets disturbed. After the cardio workout, the 15-minute workout I did, and the cardio workout that was being given for free, which would usually be private, I was feeling very tired. I was feeling very tired because I worked myself hard. I trained. Oh, can you even say hard? I trained intensely. Very, very, very intensely. Yeah. I don't want to say I trained hard because I don't really know about what hard work means. That's what one of the trainers, let's call him Isaac, was saying. Oh, you gotta work hard. I don't know why he spoke in an American accent, because he's English. But yeah, man, I've been thinking that for a while, for months on end now. When Isaac spoken about that in the past, what does that even mean? What does hard work even mean? I don't know. Man, hydration is so key, man. It's so key. I'm gonna start tracking my water intake from now on. It's so important because my throat feels dry right now, and that's a part of allowing me to completely regulate my emotions and my thoughts. It allows me to regulate my emotions and my thoughts. I find myself being much more frustrated. Feeling much more frustrated, and I allow myself to feel irritated much quicker than if I actually was hydrated. It's maybe other people experience that. If you do, let me know. But life is much more difficult than it has to be. Much more difficult than it has to be if you don't take note of your water intake. Right, there you go. 750 milliliters down the hatch. So key. So key. So key to living the life that you truly want to live. It's a part of it. Even though it's a small habit, what could be considered a small habit in the main scheme of things, it's a small habit that allows you to lead up to bigger ones and bigger ones. And hence, from now on, I'm going to call it a core habit. But yeah, I will talk about core habits in this video. But for now, I want to talk about my eating and sleep. So yeah, I'm going to go to the eating. Or go back to it, should I say. I had too much to eat, way too much to eat. And when I went to the toilet, my abs I felt pain. My core felt pain after having so much to eat. And I felt pain when going to the toilet. I felt pain in my abs when going to the toilet. And I also felt pain for a few seconds when I was in bed. I felt it was like a very light cramp, I'd say. Like you're doing a core workout rep. Or reps of a core workout. That's what it felt like. But generally speaking, if my abs didn't feel like they were cramping, even if it's very slightly, my stomach just felt heavy, not healthy, heavy. It just felt way too heavy to handle. And I don't want to ever put myself in a position where that happens again. Yeah, it may happen, but if we reduce the amount of times that happens, that's great. I don't like it at all. And let's go back to the sleep. Like, I'm going to put myself in a position where my sleep does not get disturbed. At least to an amount that I can, that I like. Sometimes it may happen. Like sometimes something something that's serious may happen. So fair enough. But like basically all of the time, that's not happening. That's not the case. And when I say something serious, like it's an emergency worth calling the ambulance or the police about, or the fire brigade, like that never happens really, like at all. But yeah, man, like I'm absolutely not going to voluntarily put myself in a position where my sleep gets disturbed. And one thing I'd suggest to myself is to invest in noise cancellation headphones. That may help. But yeah, like I was thinking, I was able to get some. I was on my way to getting an amazing night's worth of sleep after training myself so intensely. But then my sleep got disturbed because my parents were saying, "Oh, you got to do this. There's this special occasion we have to go to, remember?" And all that. So my sleep got disturbed and I did not like it at all. Even though they're saying, "Yeah, well done. Well done." Basically, well done for getting up. That's what they meant. I didn't like it because I wasn't doing what I truthfully wanted to do, which in that case was going to sleep. But at least it's over now. I wasn't doing what I truthfully wanted to do. It just wasn't worth it. But tell a lie. Sorry. I didn't like it. So in that sense, having disrupted sleep wasn't worth it. But it was worth it in a sense of having learnt a lesson. I now know what it's like to have disrupted sleep. As soon as you're about to fall asleep and have an amazing night's rest, get told to wake up, and that it's not nice at all. It made for this time, it made my sleep. It made me. Jeez, this heat. I found it much more difficult to get sleep the second time round than I did the first time round. even though I didn't fall asleep the first time round, that was fairly easy. Even though it may have taken a while from my memory, because I was just writing down, I was playing about with the Rubik's Cubes and that, but the second time round, like, that was not fun. That having my sleep disturbed and then having to go in the attempt to sleep for a second time round was not fun. I was in bed for so long. Maybe up to about 20 to 11 before I thought, you know what, I've tried. Let's just get some fresh air outside. I went downstairs, but I didn't actually go outside to the back garden. Oh. But yeah, that was not fun at all, and I now know for sure that I'm going to take it upon myself to make sure that my sleep is much healthier than what it was today, or last night, I should say. Now, I'm going to move on. Just to summarize, hydration is absolutely key, and it can genuinely determine how you go about in your life in terms of emotional self-control and mental self-control. I find it much more difficult to stay rational. I could find it much easier to feel irritated by not drinking enough water, by having that dry throat, and it feels heavy. I don't like that feeling at all. Just like how I don't like eating way too much and eating that sort of food. I just don't like it. It made my abs feel like it had slight cramps, like I was doing an ab workout when I wasn't, and my stomach just felt so heavy. And it's so easy. I can find it so easy to overeat on that sort of food because it's low protein. You're barely getting any meat in that, so it's like oh yeah. And I'd also say do what you can do stay as adequately warm as you possibly can, even in this extremely hot temperature, as much as you possibly can. Stay hydrated and don't let people take your sleep away from you. Not if you can avoid it, and if it's not an emergency or something like that. Don't let that happen. Don't do that to yourself. For me personally, it just wasn't fun at all. It took so much longer to get to sleep the second time, and I felt pissed off. I felt pissed. I didn't tell anyone, but I felt pissed off, or at least slightly pissed off, that my sleep got disturbed, because I knew I wanted to sleep, but then I went against that. I could have felt dehydrated at the time as well, so that probably didn't help either. So yeah, sleep. Oh yes. There's something else that I wanted to talk about in terms of eating. So I was saying that I probably ate for 4 people, and the reason why I had the second portion is because my sleep got disturbed. So I used that as a coping mechanism to get over having my sleep disturbed. And I'll tell you what, that's not the way. That is not the way. Just maybe get some fresh air outside, train, and go about your day. Not your day, but your night. Maybe go outside and just have some fresh air to just reset, and then go back to bed again and sleep. Overeating because your sleep has been disrupted is absolutely not the way. That's what I did yesterday. Not worth it. Absolutely not worth it, man. It's not. And I'll tell you what, because I overate and I had that second portion of food as a coping mechanism, I think that made I felt physical pain because of that. And I think that also could have been why I found it even harder to sleep the second time round compared to if I didn't do that. So for the second time round, when I had my second portion of food, I had a large bowl of jollof rice again, just like how I did the first time round. And then I also had a cup of milk, a wafer chocolate bar with a bit of caramel in it, and 1 Werther's Original. And then with the jollof rice, I had my water bottle with me. Not worth it. Please don't use that as a coping mechanism. That's only going to make you feel worse. In this context, it made me feel worse by my stomach feeling heavy, my abs cramping and that, or very slightly. I call it cramp slightly. You feel tense. Maybe my abs feel tense. It's only using coping mechanisms like that one, for example, in this context for something that's happened. It's only going to make you feel worse. So do something that's healthy instead. Allow yourself to reset in some way. In this context, I'd say allow yourself to just reset. Go outside, get some fresh air or something, like train, skip rope, maybe do some body weight exercises, all of that. But yeah, that's one of the main topics that I wanted to talk about today, or a few topics I should say actually. So now let's move on to core habits. So I've been thinking a whole load. Yesterday I had a whole load of I gave myself a whole load of time off the screens from 4 p.m. onwards. Let's talk about that right now. So from 4 p.m. to 11 past 8, I didn't go on the screens at all, but at 11 past 8 in the evening, I went on the screens for a very few seconds. I went on the iPhone to just turn it off. I went on that phone to just turn it off. So yeah, does that count? I'd say yes, because I did go on the screens, but it didn't affect me. It didn't ruin my sleep or anything like that. I don't think. It was only literally like a few seconds. So I think that's okay. But I just, I've spoken about it now because it's the truth and it's what happened, and I don't want to let that slide. I did go on the screen. I did go on the iPhone once. But okay. So let's talk about core habits now. So I wrote a whole load of healthy core habits, but I haven't given any unhealthy core habit examples because these are ideas that I'm in the process of developing. So one healthy core habit that I'd give, which I've absolutely gone on over and over and over again about, is the evening routine. This is amazing because it gives you time to think, which means you have a whole load of benefits. As I said, a core habit is, in this case, a healthy core habit is a habit that leads to one of the same kind, many of the same kind. And these are the habits that it leads on to, having the evening routine where you don't have any screens in the room. It leads on to this. You give yourself time to think, which leads on to this. You allow yourself to find your own voice. You reduce your mental dependence on which we have all built on today's technology. It reduces it at least. And going hammering on about that point again, it reduces overstimulation from blue light. However, you can still overstimulate your mind by putting your thoughts down to thoughts down onto paper. Past the point your head is hurting, and past the point your hands hurting, and even maybe past the point where your trap is hurting. You know you've gone for a very long while if you've been writing for so long that your trap on the same side as the hand you've been writing with is hurting, and you're feeling aches in that. You've been going for a very long time if you've done that. I've experienced that only once. Yeah. It also allows you to articulate your thoughts more clearly, and you stutter a lot less. I think my proof of this would be compare me, how I'm speaking now, to the very start. I'm able to articulate my thoughts much more clearly without stuttering, and I can speak for much longer without stuttering. It's just this really helps. I'd say this also leads on to you being able to improve your social skills, because you can articulate yourself clearly, so people can understand what you're saying a lot easier than if you didn't do something like this, for example. Jeez, it's hot in this car and I'm sweating, man. Woo! Yeah, but we're going to keep on going, we're going to keep on pushing. So more benefits from having time to think. You can work through your thoughts that you have in your head and things that you're allowing to trouble you, or things that you just want to work through and solve. I put all of these sorts of things here, like things you're letting trouble you, things you want to, you're interested in solving or work through fears. I've written all of this in these sorts of ways, even though they're basically the same thing, because of the mindset that you could potentially have towards working through what you want to work through and eventually solving it. But whatever it is, having time to think will allow you to be further on the path to solving it. And I know that from personal experience. For example, writing in the pad has allowed me to work through my thoughts for the serious video. It's allowed me to work through my day 80 video. Those are just 2 examples. And I'm telling you, with these examples in mind, it works. I think I've said this in the past, but just speaking about this now has reminded me that I want to make a video called I think it's called The Bench, quote unquote Joseph approached me. And that was one of the things that I've allowed myself to work through with the videos, actually. Making videos and writing. That's what I meant. That's what I want to say. Making videos and writing is just, it allows you to articulate your thoughts so much more clearly, and allows you to work through fears and all of that. Fears, things that you want to solve, challenges, depending on what your mindset is. It allows you to work through it, man, and it's so amazing. You'll be living a much more fulfilling and meaningful life that you truthfully want to live, if compared to if you don't do this sort of thing. That's basically guaranteed. It may work for you, it may not. Hence I'll say basically guaranteed, but I know for one thing, it's worked for me for sure. Another thing time to think gives you is that the evening routine gives you is based on the overstimulation thing again. It means it allows you to wake up early, or significantly increase the chances of you waking up early for the next day, which will mean you've set aside a lot more time to do what you want to do, and a lot more time than the average Joe or the average Jane has set themselves to be able to do. And that's just a fact. If you wake up at 8, for example, you're going to have you've set aside a lot less time to do what you want to do compared to someone that's woken up at 4 or 5. That you can just get so much more done. And I like that a lot, because it means I'm actually achieving what I truthfully want to achieve every single day, and I have so much more time to do that. I'm not sure if I've said this in previous vlogs, but to me, sleeping early, getting an early night's rest, and getting up early at like 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. I'd say is like life on cheats, because you've set aside so much time to do what you truthfully want to do, and it's amazing. And even if you're going to work in a job that you hate, you can invest the spare time that you do have into creating actions and taking actions and doing what it takes to live a life that you actually do want to live. So I'd say waking up at the early times like this, especially if you're working a 9 to 5, that is the way to live a life that you truthfully want to live. If you're working at a job that you hate right now, it depends what you want to do, really. If you want to make a business, which is being hammered on about in today's society, I'd say you could also work your way up the ladder in somebody else's company, or you can work in something that you truthfully enjoy, but you're not the employer of. I was thinking of back then, just a few seconds ago, I was thinking of saying you could work, invest the time in getting a high-paying job in which you're not the employer of. But it's not all about money, man. Like that's just some shit. That's just a load of BS, honestly. Like, why is it that the average Joe and the average Jane has allowed themselves to have no filters other than, oh, I'm doing this to make money, instead of it being fulfilling in something that they enjoy? It's just, oh no, I'm doing this to make money. Why? I don't know why you do that to yourself. But waking up early will allow you to, especially if you're someone in the self-improvement community, it will allow you to do what it takes to be able to every single day put actions towards something that you truthfully want to do, like this. For me, that's this. And then from here, I'm working towards expanding. This channel by, for example, like by collaborating with others and doing other sorts of things. Now, I've already started that in a way by doing the juggling. I'm also thinking of doing football tricks as well. Working towards what you truthfully want to do every single day. You can expand from there and then give it enough time, maybe like, I don't know, maybe a decade or maybe even less. The amount of growth that you would have had to make as a person, and all of the things that you would have achieved, the highs, the lows, the plateaus, the average, below average and above average days that the days that you've considered, all of these things, like, you would have come so far. In the space of 10 years, you would have come so far. And that's actually something that I have to remember myself. Instead of thinking, the returning viewers is decreased by 1. It's plummeted. Like, no. Give it 10 years and see where it ends up. Give it 10 years. Remember the bigger picture. And carry on going every single day. Carry on going. Just keep it moving. You know that this is what you want to do truthfully. So keep on going every single day. Every single day you got to do this in some way. I'm doing that with the plank journey. Have I done that with making money moves aggressively, which I said I wanted to do? Not recently, but again, that can change. Everything can change. Mentally, physically, like your life situation, due to your actions. Everything can change due to your actions and what you experience, going out to experience new things, like that cardio workout I did yesterday. Like, doing all of this, it allows you to grow as a person, and give it 10 years time and see where you end up. That's actually now something that I'm going to have to tell myself over and over again, instead of thinking, the returning viewers is decreased by 1, it's plummeting. But people are going to see, people are going to watch back to the early videos. These are the early days. People are going to see where I've come from and what I've done in order to get to where I will be in 10 years time. That's going to completely exceed my expectations for sure. But yeah, man, like, this is all just for the big. Just remember the bigger picture. That's what I'm trying to say. Just remember the bigger picture, instead of thinking, in the now, today, it's decreased an extremely small amount. Remember the bigger picture. Yeah, remember the bigger picture. Remember where you could be if you just hung in there. If you just hung in there for another how long? If you just remember that this is an everyday thing, not a thing that you stop because it's decreased by 1, or the graph on analytics in this realm has gone down. Like, chill out. It happens sometimes. That's just how it is. It grows. It goes up. It goes down. Sometimes it may go straight. That's how it is. Yeah, and that's something that I have to personally remember in this stage. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm learning a lot. And that's something that I've even just thought about right now. You're hearing me change my mindset in real time. Yeah, I've never done anything like this before. So it makes sense as to why I can feel unhappy about me, quote unquote, not making progress. But even having the returning viewers decrease by 1, that's going to increase. All I have to do is just remember to give it 10 years. Give it 10 years and see where it goes. There's no way in hell with 10 years worth of content, 3,650 videos at least worth of content. There's no way in hell that I wouldn't have fucking it grown a lot. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Pardon me. There's absolutely no way I wouldn't have. But okay, going back to the evening routine. This allows you to this means that you've set time to do hobbies that don't involve screens, that stimulate your mind in another way, which could allow you to grow what you truthfully want to do, that pays you, the fun thing that pays you. Like, you could think your mind will be stimulated in ways that you would have never stimulated your mind before. Or maybe like me, for example, with the Rubik's Cube, I'm now starting to oil up. I'm starting to lube it up in a way, metaphorically speaking, because it's no longer dusty. I've got them out, yeah, and they're now back in the playing field because I'm giving myself time to learn. And yeah, I give myself time to learn cubing and other hobbies like reading and that. And because of all of this daily talk and that, I'm giving myself time to learn. And because of that, my focus is increasing with these half day no screen. Yeah, my focus increased. I spoke about it in my half day no screens experiment, saying that my focus increased in that when I was writing the weekly review on a Sunday. But this allows me to just carry on going, which I'm doing now. I have no idea how long this voiceover clip is, but I'm going to carry on going anyway. And to get back to the point now, having the evening routine in which you're not on the screens at all allows you to grow as a person, and it allows you to improve your focus, for example, which is so crucial. And now here's a series of other core habits which I haven't really developed on in writing. No background noise and ability to deeply focus, gratitude journaling, exercise, training muscle and cardio for mental health reasons, nutrition, hydration, which I've spoken about, sleep, yeah, complete self-control of the body and the mind, self-awareness and knowing yourself and doing what you truthfully do. And I'll also say learning and applying new skills to an extremely high level. These are all ideas of core habits that I've come up with that I'm in the middle of developing. But it will come over time. And I'd like to say cardio is really helpful mentally when you jog when you jog intensely for a while. Even if it's once a week, it allows you to just get out of that mindset where you feel frustrated or where you feel overstimulated, and that it's helped me. So I want to incorporate that into my daily life, maybe at least once a week, for example. And I'm also going to incorporate what I've learned from the cardio workout, which I'm going to speak about in another video. I'm going to I'm going to write about what I've learned from there. No, I'm going to do what I've learned from there. Yeah, I'm going to do what I've learned from there. And yeah, just to hammer on, cardio seriously helped me. And this evening routine, again, going back to it, specifically in the context of today, it's just allowed me to have a whole load of video ideas and video series. I came up with about 50 video ideas and around 10 video series that I could just talk about. I did so much today. Not it's given me. My doing this is mean that I've done what it takes to be able to put myself in a position where this has happened. I did this. And it's very important to remember that you're doing this for you, and that it's you taking the action. It's you that's done this. For whatever it is, maybe you've taken advice from somewhere, but it's you that's done that action and improved your life. But okay. Whew. Yeah, man. We've got a whole load to talk about. So let's move on to something else. All right. Focus. We can talk about focus again. I want to talk about focus when it comes to school, and then I'll relate that to the rest of my life and how I've got to this point. It's been, actually, before I start, it's got so hot that I've had to open the car door and I've had to take my t-shirt off in the car. It's got that hot. It's basically a literal hot box, but not of like weed or anything like that. No, heat, an actual hot box, I'd call it. But yeah, going back to focus, right? I always wanted to be the best being in school. It was being the highest set, getting the highest grades, perfect grades, top grades in every single subject without fail. That was what it was for me. But focus-wise, I was just way too invested in games. And it may be that without even knowing it, I never actually really had a solid reason as to why I'd want to do it, or have a solid way of doing what it took to be able to get to the point where I'm focusing on schoolwork or as much as I wanted to. I don't want to say all the time, because I'd basically be living a sedentary lifestyle, trying to get perfect grades and not socializing in that. Speaking of, I use during the time I have off screens, I'm going to be using that, and I have done use that as time to socialize with people and just get to talking. It's a basic human need. There's the saying, we're social beings for a reason. We talk. That's a part of life. That's the main part of life. And to take that away from yourself is so unfair. It's almost like a survival need. You don't need it to survive, no, but mentally it does help. I was gonna say it fucking helps. It does. It's not pleasant at all to be talking to very few people, and I experienced that in uni. It's not fun at all. It can make you feel very low, and if you don't talk to people, it could lead you in a position, especially if you're not taking care of your health in other areas of your life, it could leave you in a downward spiral where you just keep on going down and down and down and down. For me in uni, I was putting on a lot of weight. I was putting on a lot of fat because I was just eating takeaway, because I didn't sort that out. I didn't have any healthy core habits, which I stuck to. I didn't even really have that as a thing. That wasn't a thing to me. Healthy core habits weren't a thing to me. Back then I was just starting to get in, I was about, oh jeez, let's try that again. I was just about starting to get to the gym and do workouts and that. I was just finding the ropes back then. But let's relate it back. Let's go back to focus now. When it comes, quite of ironic that I'm switching from topic to topic, isn't it? And I'm talking about my focus. Yeah. I think I was just way too invested in games, way too invested in video games. And because of that was an unhealthy core habit, because I was doing it for so long and there was no control. I didn't really allow myself to have self-control. There were times when I was a child that I'd be played all the way up into maybe 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, maybe even 4 at a push. Like it was so stupid. It's so stupid long. I'd usually play Call of Duty Zombies and that. Oh man, like there was absolutely no need. Like at night there was one time when I was playing games when I was a teen. I got up to round 42 of Call of Duty Black Ops 1 Ascension at night. Round 42. That took like 4 hours. It's stupid. That all of that time that I was invested in those games, I could have invested into this journey as a teen. And if I did that for 4 years, imagine where I'd be now. But if I do it for 4 years from now, then like I'm of course gonna grow. But there's no point in me thinking, oh, imagine if I did this earlier. That I'm just gonna take that as a sign that this is truthfully what I want to be doing, and one day I'm eventually gonna be making a lot of money from it. One day, eventually, I'm gonna be able to live in a way that I truthfully want to live, due to providing value to other people out there that are in the self-improvement community, and maybe even in the larger self-improvement community that have come and found my channel. I just have to put the work in every single day and focus. Even throughout you know what? From now on, yeah, I'm just gonna focus on, just aggressively just focus on creating the content and not even pay attention to views in that, because that's a major part of what got me to that point where I thought my returning viewer count, even though it decreased by 1, quote unquote, plummeted. Like, come on, it was one person, one returning viewer. I like, come on. And even thinking about it now, that doesn't necessarily mean that returning viewer has stopped watching. It doesn't mean he's not there. It's just there was one less returning viewer in the space of the week compared to a couple of days ago, 7 days from back then. That's it. That's all that is. And I don't want to focus on this at all, because even though I'm building a self-improvement community, I can't control the rate of which it grows, which is something that I've said earlier, but said in previous vlogs. But from now on, like, I'm not going to focus on that at all. I'm just going to keep it moving. Just keep on uploading content and make that the only thing I care about, or at least, if I don't get me wrong, I absolutely am going to respond to comments when they come, and that when they come, but that's going to be it, really. I'm not going to focus really on the community being built side of things right now, because when it decreases, I'm just allowing myself to feel put down by it or feel down by it. It's not a nice feeling, thinking, oh, it's plummeted. That's not nice to tell myself. I don't like it. And if I don't pay attention to that, and instead focus on what I truthfully want to focus on, which in this context is creating the videos, then my quality of life is just going to increase a lot more. The fulfillment and happiness I may experience is just going to be a lot higher than it would be by focusing on analytics every single day. Like, no more. I've done that in the past, and I actually clicked on analytics today very early on in the morning. I'm not doing that anymore, because I can understand the sort of effect that it has on me, trying to control something that I can't control. That's what I'm doing basically, and I don't like it. So I'm gonna keep it moving and just focus on creating content, and then when it basically 100% focus on creating content, and when comments come, I'll respond. If it's a constructive criticism, I'll think about it and think, you know what, thank you for helping me, or no, I don't think so. But if it's a destructive criticism comment, like, oh, you're shit, then I'll just say, let me be shit in peace. Like how I said to the guy that I know from the gym. Let's call him Cause. That's what we agreed. I was speaking to Cause in the gym about creating YouTube content, and he was having thoughts of what if they tell me like destructive comments like that. And I just thought, you know what, in response, I personally say, you know what, let me just be shit in peace, instead of saying, as he said before I finished my sentence, although that's not a passive aggressive comment to him at all, he said fuck him, but no, I don't think so. That's not the sort of energy that I want to put out there to them. I think that's stooping to their level, or at least stooping to a lower level, which I don't need to be at. Just let me be shit in peace. If that's what you think, that's what you think. And I understand that I can't control your actions. So I can't control what you think of your actions. Maybe it's not even about me, it's about you instead. That I say you, sorry, I mean they. I don't want people to think that I'm passively aggressively aiming at them, but I'm just talking about those sorts of people. So they call them they. I'm not gonna allow myself to stoop to their sort of level where they talk about, oh, you're shit, and then I just say, oh, you know what, fuck you, you try to create this channel then. You try and create something like this and see what it's like. Nah, I don't want to stoop to that level, and I'm not going to. And talking about it is helping me do that. So, oh my gosh, now I've had to go back to focus again. I think this is just saying something. Like, there's so much on my mind that I want to talk about that it seems like even in this video, I'm switching from one thing to another and another and another. But yeah, long story short, I wanted to get the highest of grades in the top, and the best of the best grades, the highest of the highest. And I think that was my equivalent of keeping up with the Joneses. It was the school equivalent of keeping up with the Joneses, and it was something that I couldn't do because I had way too many unhealthy core habits, like overstimulating my mind on YouTube, eating poorly, not learning as well. And that's something that I really need to focus on as well. Like, in order for me to grow a lot, the advice that I'm giving myself is to follow the core habits that I've made, and that I've spoken about earlier. So that's what I'm going to focus on. There you go. And I think that's going to help my life drastically. I don't know how drastically, but I say drastically because when you do one core habit, that leads on to so many others. So that's what I'm actually going to focus on now. And when it comes to creating content, I'm just going to think about uploading the videos, and then that's me done. I'm not going to ever look at analytics or anything like that. If there are comments and I see them, I'll absolutely respond. But that's it. That's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to, I think looking at analytics every single day is just making me emotionally invest into this way too much. It's making me emotionally invest into this channel and this journey to an unhealthy amount. But just looking if there are comments to responding to them, and just creating the content, doing things that, paying attention to what I can control, like how Therapy in a Nutshell would say. Only focusing on those things, that is what's going to allow me to improve my quality of life, and just developing these core habits. And then from there, oh my gosh, the amount of things that could happen, I have no idea, but it's going to be absolutely amazing. I'll tell you that much. I'd like to end talking about this topic with this sentence: focus on what you can control, and only on what you can control. And if you start focusing on what you can't control, acknowledge that and shift your focus back onto what you can control. That is the main message that Therapy in a Nutshell gives in her videos with these sorts of things, which she calls the locus of control. And it's something that I'm going to also repeat over here for those who haven't watched Therapy in a Nutshell. If you haven't, please go over there. She is the things that she's doing, for this for this earth, for the people that have an internet connection, is absolutely amazing. And pardon me, I just love to say thank you so much, Therapy in a Nutshell. Thank you so much, Emma. I don't think you have any sort of idea how worldwide you are and how many people that you're helping. There's you can think of the numbers, but the fact you're worldwide, whoa. Yes, thank you so much, Emma. And thank everybody else out there that's helping people learn how to improve their mental health, because I wouldn't be here without it. So it's only right that I say thank you, and I advise people who come here to watch her content based on mental health. If there is anywhere that you want to go and learn about improving your mental health and acquiring skills in order to make sure that your mental health is not only stable but improving, that's the place to go, and that's an absolutely amazing place to start off with. So I have to thank you for that, and I have to thank one of my sisters for giving me one of her videos, because I wouldn't have known of Therapy in a Nutshell, or at least it would have taken me much longer to actually find many more of her videos. So thank you, Therapy in a Nutshell, and one of my sisters. Right. And I want to talk about books. Yesterday, I was just having thoughts of creating ebooks, or making just ebook ideas. That's what I have on the pad. And I think that could be an absolutely amazing place to start off with when it comes to writing books, because writing ebooks can turn into paperback books, and then paperback books can turn into amazing ones. You can just develop it from there, start off small, keep on going and developing, and that's you done. I'd also say blogging could also be a place to start off with. Maybe if you want to build a reputation in that, you could start off with learning how to write over there as well, with blogging and with selling ebooks. That will not only allow you to learn how to write, but it will also allow you to build a reputation, and from there you can sell paperback books that actually many people worldwide buy. I think that would be a fun thing to talk about, my experiences in that, of this transformation journey, for example. So that could be that could actually be a place where I start ebooks and blogging. That's where I could start. And I think it'll be fun learning how to write. It'll be a new skill. It will stimulate me. It will challenge my mind, and it'll be based on something that I actually truly love doing, which is this transformation journey and creating these videos. Like, there's so many different topics that I could go into. And also, say podcasting could also be another thing that people could go into, like me as well. That would be, yeah, it's an idea. It absolutely is a shout. And I was talking to my family friend about it today, and he was like, yeah, he's saying that he's interested with doing it with his brother, doing a podcast with his brother. So that's something that there are all these opportunities that people can take in that. Even if you don't have a family that you want to do it with, you can do it by just starting off a podcast by yourself, and then from there moving on, improving. That's what you have to do. And you'll be able to do it by doing these daily, like how I'm doing them. And then there you go, bam, you've not only created a name for yourself, but you've created a name for yourself that has the reputation that you actually truthfully want it to have, which is amazing. And you would have had to earn it. You would have had to earn your keep, or how people call it, delayed gratification. You would have experienced delayed gratification. But for me, sorry about that. For me, that's just way too fancy. Like, there's no need to use all of these fancy words in that. That's what maybe from a YouTube creator sense, it makes sense to use those sorts of words so people actually know what you're talking about, because that's what so many people have spoken about. So it makes sense to speak about it using that wording more, because that's what people know and how people feel comfortable with saying it. But for me, that's just too fancy. Delayed gratification to me is earning your keep, and short-term gratification is just instant gratification is just short-term comfort, like having a hot shower, for example, or mindlessly consuming YouTube for hours on end, not taking into account your water intake and all of that. Feeling dehydrated could also play a part in how much you mindlessly consume YouTube as well, which I'd like to note out. Just in case, you could ask yourself, how much water do I drink? If you're watching YouTube a lot, if you're mindlessly consuming YouTube a lot, you may think, oh yeah, that's unrelated in that, but there may be a correlation to it, because your mind is finding it much more difficult to focus on things that you truthfully want to focus on. So you instead go for what's easier. If you really don't take care of these, make healthy core habits, and eventually therefore replace the unhealthy core habits, like, they're just going to carry on repeating themselves, and they're going to be lessons. They're just lessons to learn. That's what a low is, really. It's no more than just a lesson to learn. And with that mindset in mind, that's just, I can now think about quote unquote lows with a lot more peace and feeling much happier than I have with the screen usage low, because it reminds me, like, look, it's an opportunity to learn and to grow. A high is something that you appreciate, but it's a learning opportunity to learn, and a lows are learning opportunities to learn and to grow. And therefore from there you can just keep on building, because lows is what's going to take you to that top level, on the premise that you learn from them. I'll tell you what though, no form of quote unquote instant gratification or short-term comfort beats making movies every day. Every single day I have a lot to talk about, and every single day I'm having I'm providing some form of value. Granted, it's going to take time for me to actually be known. That's fine. That means I just earn my keep even more. And absolutely nothing beats, no form of short-term comfort beats this at all. Like, no short-term comfort beats the fun that I making these movies. Like, imagine that you've put yourself in a position where you get to make movies every single day. You have so much to talk about that you enjoy, that you love speaking about, and you get to make movies on it every single day. And these movies that you make every single day, they can allow you to build a future that you truthfully want to live. and I, as Jeff calls it, an ideal life. That is just, oh my gosh, absolutely nothing beats it. So I'm just gonna focus on what I can control, which is creating the content and making sure that it's uploaded every single day. But the amount of, it's so much better. It's so much better to remember the fact that I get to make movies every single day, instead of thinking, oh, I got one less returning viewer, now my returning views is quote unquote plummeted. What a load of shite. What a load of bullshit. Let's focus on what I can control. Let's shift my focus onto what I can control. And that sort of mindset is just it is seeping into all other areas of my life, and everything I'm doing in this journey is seeping into all other areas of my life, and I'm building myself from the ground up. And it's the future that I have is promising. I don't know where I'm gonna be. I don't know how many subscribers are, how many people that will have subscribed to this self-improvement community. Yeah, we don't know. I have no idea how many it's going to be in 2 years, but the future's promising. My future is looking promising, and I have to just do this every single day and focus on what I can control. That's it, man. Just focus on what I can control, and making these movies every day is just forever more satisfying than any other sort of mindlessly consuming YouTube or anything like that. That's just rubbish. Like, I enjoy this a lot more than that, so I'm going to carry on doing these every single day, no matter what. And I'm instead, as I've said in the past, I'm going to instead just make this, again, remind myself that this is for me. It is for other people as well, but I can't control the rate of which the community grows and that we grow. I can't control it, but what I can control is just using this as a place to be, what I can control is my mindset, and using this as a place to be able to just put my thoughts into audio and work through things and build myself from the ground up, just work on building core habits. And every single day, that sort of mindset slowly but surely is, everything I'm doing slowly but surely is seeping into how I go about with every other aspect of my life. And I'm genuinely going to be living an extremely quote unquote better life than what I could have been doing if I didn't do this. Doing this is allowing me to be the what you'd hear from the average self-improvement Joe or Jane, the best version of myself. It's allowing me to, I don't know, look, as I've said before, I'm going to say again, I have no idea where I'm going to be in 2 years' time. I have no idea how big this community is going to be in 2 years' time. None. I don't know, but I do know that I would have achieved a lot more, that I would have grown a lot more, and that I would have been able to help many more people than I have at the moment. This journey is doing so much for me, a lot more than I'd be able to know at this point in time. And I love making these movies so much that I want to make longer ones. So that's what I'm doing. And with making these longer ones every single day consistently, practicing them, I'm going to be able to speak a lot more fluently than I am right now. Even though I'm speaking much more fluently than I did, say, 3 months ago. Imagine, because I'm going to be doing this every day. Imagine where I'll be in terms of articulation 3 months from now, and imagine where I'd be in terms of how much I've learned and how much I've grown by experience and how much I've learned by doing research. Imagine how far I would have been 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years from now. Like, I'm setting myself up for an absolutely amazing future. An amazing future, even though it's like, yeah, we do experience lows or things we consider lows, but you have to remember this. I'm going to hammer on about it now for me and for us, but I have to remind myself as well that lows are no more than just opportunities to grow. And when you realize that, instead of feeling low, you'll feel happy, or at least feel at peace, knowing that you have one way to be able to improve. I now know that I have one way in order to improve, which is to just create the content and then do what I need to do in terms of making money on online and creating businesses and that, do what I need to do, and then that's it. And all of this in 2 years is going to be so much bigger than what it is now, and I would be able to articulating myself much more clearly. These videos are going to happen more fluently. Like the production value is going to be improved. Everything is it's just improving. And when you realize that lows, if anything, you should feel ecstatic. And this goes for me as well. You should feel ecstatic that you've experienced what you consider a low, because that's an opportunity that you can grow from. You have something to learn from. You have a lesson you've learned. You have a lesson to learn from, and that's just the fact that you've got that allows you to build yourself and improve. And then from there, you're going to be able to improve even more the next time you've got a low, or quote unquote low, should I say. They're not lows. Remember that. They're opportunities to grow. They are not lows. They're opportunities to grow. They're not lows. They're opportunities to grow. They are not lows. They're opportunities to grow. And I'll say it one more time, the fifth time. They're not lows. They're opportunities to grow. Yeah, and we have to remember that. I have to remember that. We all have to remember. I should feel absolutely ecstatic that I can grow from being on the screens for 17 hours, even though I may not have been consuming content for 17 hours straight. The screen time was 17 hours, and that I can improve from that by reducing it significantly. There's that to improve on, and I should feel absolutely ecstatic that there is that to improve on. I'm not going to say I should anymore. I'm going to say I am. I feel happy that I have gone through that, and that I have that experience with me for the rest of my life, because it means that I can grow from it. And not that I am growing from it, from letting that be known and creating these videos. I am growing from it, and from there I would have leveled up, for one, and then two, that means that sets me up to be able to go through experiences which are quote unquote lows, that allow me to level up further. And then from there, level up. Everything else is going to level up with me. Everything else around it is going to level up with me, like the community, how much the community is built in that, how many people are seeing it in that's also going to level up. But I do remember that this isn't something that I can control. So instead of saying I should, I feel ecstatic that I've gone through that, because now I'm growing from that experience and I'm leveling up because of it, and everything around me in my life is leveling up because of it, even right now. And even right now, you're hearing me undergo a mindset change. Instead of saying I should feel happy for quote unquote lows, I do feel happy for that quote unquote low, because I know that it's an opportunity to grow, and I know that I am growing from it. And I do feel absolutely ecstatic that I have experienced that I've gone through that, and that I put myself in a position where that's happened to me, because now I'm leveling up because of it. I'm now going to end the video. Oh, I think you heard my belly rumble. I'm now going to end the video on this topic, on this note, about the lows, and also about creating these movies. These movies is infinitely much more attractive to me and appealing to me to want to do for the rest of my life than fall about with short-term comfort, like having a hot shower or mindlessly consuming YouTube. This is infinitely much more fun to me. So I'm going to carry on doing these every single day. Every single day I'm leveling up, and every single day we are all leveling up, especially people who are on the self-improvement community. Even as I'm my entire stomach is sweating in this car, my shoulders, my back, as even through this sweat and going through it, pushing through it, we're leveling up. Yeah, and I now, instead of saying I should feel happy, I do feel happy, and I do feel at peace that I'm growing from this opportunity right now. Pardon me. So I have to say thank me very much, and you should everyone who's on this self-improvement journey, you should all thank yourselves for undergoing this task, this quest. Not many people do it, and by doing this, you're living a life that you consider ideal. You're every single day, you're doing what it takes to be able to live a life that's ideal to you. Even though you may not realize it from on a day-to-day basis, that's what you're doing. And you must absolutely congratulate yourself for doing that. Absolutely well done to you, and all the power to you. I'd love to hear stories from people that are on this journey like me, that are on this self-improvement journey like me, that, especially if they're content creators, because I could see from what they create that they let their quote-unquote lows be known, they let their average days be known, they let their quote-unquote highs be known, and all of that. And I absolutely respect anyone that does that, especially if it's on a daily basis. All the power to you. Like, well done. Barely any people do that. Like, people sometimes, on every now and then, they may be like, oh, very occasionally they'll let you know about lows. But if you're doing it constantly, every single day, you're showing the proof. Like, all the power to you, and well done. And you will succeed, whatever that is to you. I'd probably say you'll succeed your expectations. And that's what I'm going to say to myself. Doing this every day, I'm going to exceed my expectations. I am exceeding my expectations by even creating these long movies. I love these long movies, and I want to make them even longer. So that's what I'm going to do. And by doing these every single day, I'm not only having fun, I'm on my way to making money from this as well. And this is going to be so much more, I'm going to be speaking so much more fluently months from now by doing this every single day. But yeah, I think for now I'll leave it here. This is it. This is the end of the video. You're an absolute soldier. If you got your popcorn ready, and watch the entire thing, you're a soldier. You're an absolute soldier. If you did, and you've gone through all of this, like, you've watched the entire thing in one go, thank you. You're not only doing me a favor, but you're doing yourself a favor by listening to this sort of content, because it means you're putting yourself in a position where you're hearing someone grow, and you can get different sorts of different sorts of ways of thinking about certain topics that can allow you to grow as a person, and that can allow you to level up. And I'm telling you, even by watching this content, you're leveling up. Even by watching it, you're leveling up, because you're looking for knowledge, especially if you watch the whole thing. Like, all the power to you. And I want to carry on making these sorts of videos like these. I love them, and no sort of short-term comfort has this same effect on me. So I'm going to carry on doing it, and we're all leveling up. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. I certainly love making this video. Hope you learned something from this that's valuable and that you can apply from your life. And I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.